I am Ankita Chawla. I am a designer. I'm also a TEDx speaker. And I'm currently working with Deloitte in their brand and marketing team. So I'm basically going to talk about design thinking and a little bit about how to stay calm during this entire pandemic. So, I'd first like to thank Delhi Food Walks for letting me talk to you guys and their audience. Hi. So, I'll just dive right into it. This entire pandemic, and at least I've been home for about 45 days now. So, I think there are two visible crises going on at the same time. Like, everyone is talking about how we need to flatten the curve, especially of the people who like are out there with the symptoms of COVID-19. And there is another invisible crisis also going on at the same time of people having excessive worry, stress, and anxiety during this entire scenario. We also need to talk about flattening this curve where, like, the levels of stress during this time are extremely high right now. And the first thing that I want to begin by saying is that the anxiety we're feeling is not wrong. I mean, things are so uncertain right now, and the fact that, you know, our lockdown has been extended for the third time now. So, if you're feeling anxious right now, it's completely okay to feel so. Like, it's correct for you to feel anxious because if not now, then when and how are you going to respond to this situation? So, I did a little bit of writing before coming to this live where I just wanted to jot down my thoughts and have a conversation with you as to how are you guys staying calm, because everyone is talking about how you need to be the catalyst of change. Brands are coming up with creative ways to reach out to people, but there's just this white noise around us that is like constantly telling us that, hey, you know what, I don't feel something is right. And like at this point of time, it makes complete sense for us to feel that way because something definitely isn't right. And we will use this live as a safe space for us to acknowledge that feeling, and we'll try to discuss some ways how we are staying calm and also being the catalyst of calm around people. Because I know, at least in my house, there are certain situations, certain actions by my family members which often cause distress, anxiety, and I'm not able to calm them down. In return, this also gives me stress and anxiety, and I like to call it second hand worry. So, this second hand worry, in my opinion, needs to be dealt with second hand measures, which, in my opinion, would look something like, okay, if there are certain actions by people around you who have been watching a lot of news, they have been keeping a track of each and every statistic in each and every state and monitoring all the news that has been coming out, is causing you worry. The one thing you can do to actually safeguard your like mental and emotional well-being is to limit the amount of information you absorb at this point of time, because that is one thing that I've started practicing, and it has genuinely helped me because I do not want to watch the news 24/7. Because the news, even though is like the informative source to tell me what's happening around me, it's giving me, it's my portal to the outside world while I cannot go out. But at the same time, I feel it gets too much. And especially Hindi news channels, the way they're like exaggerating everything and talking about all the statistics. I'm pretty sure they're trying to make us realize how grave the situation is. But limiting that information has definitely helped me. I have set a time at night to watch news with my family, and I do not like to consume almost everything and anything that comes on my feed or my timeline as news. So that's one way I'm dealing with secondhand worry. Um, and for people, this is especially for people like me, because I am someone who like lives and thrives on my creative flow. And my creative flow is very, very important to me because in the usual schedule that I had, where I had the freedom to go out, I had more independence of the people I used to talk to, the people I used to meet, I used to interact with, the places I used to go to. It had a completely different impact on my creative flow. And the fact that now we're stuck in our houses, there is a lack of stimuli in our brains, which often causes shutdown of a lot of things. It causes shutdown of patience, it causes shutdown of generating new ideas, and our circadian rhythm is also shifted. Now, what our circadian rhythm is, it's basically our body clock. In the normal schedule of your life, your body will tell you when it's hungry. Your body will automatically tell you when it needs to sleep. When it feels that it's the right time for you to shut off your laptop and screen and limit your device usage. That body rhythm and those normal and automatic body what do you call those automatic body responses, they have been shifted because of this entire change in our schedule, and it's completely okay. I think the reason why we're trying to blame it on our own habits, or we're trying to blame it maybe on an uncomfortable pillow, I just want to tell you that that's not the case. In situations like these, where the normal body flow is disturbed due to these circumstances, is because your body is also reacting and adapting to this entire change of schedule, to this entire change of scenario. So, that was the second thing that I wanted to talk about. That when our body's response is so different from how it used to be, we need to give it time to adapt to what the new normal is right now. And the new normal is that we are distanced from people, and during this time there's a lot of worry that is surrounding us, which brings me to the third point. Now, staying calm during this time sometimes is not a process or is not a journey you can take on your own. It often, and like I say often, but in my cases, I think it mostly comes from talking to people. It mostly comes from talking to the people I really, really, really trust. And this lockdown has reminded me for how important it is for us to check on our friends during this time, because the reassurance that you get from people when they tell you that, hey, you know what, you're not alone in this, and I am here with you, I think it still has a certain level of impact, because this is a situation unlike any other. When you look at 9/11, when 9/11 happened, there was the levels of stress amongst the people must have been unimaginable, because it was like how it's similar to the situation right now is things were uncertain then, things are uncertain now. A lot of lives were being lost then, a lot of lives are being lost now. People felt unsafe in outdoors, and it's the same thing right now. But at that time, people were able to come together and like show their support by coming out on the roads. So here, when you actually want to tell people and actually want to come together while we are supposed to say 6 feet apart from each other, it does get difficult. It's difficult sometimes to convince your brain that, okay, um, I can't see my friends, I can't meet them anytime soon. Uh, I don't know if they've forgotten me. I don't know when all of this gets over if we'll have the same equation or not. But they're telling me that they're still here for me, that I'm not alone. And I'm saying that's probably the best shot they've got. So, another thing that I feel could be a catalyst in staying calm and also spreading the calmness for the people around you is just trusting your gut, that when someone is trying to catch up on you and asking you how you are, it's not because that, oh, now you got the time to talk to me. It's because people are reevaluating their habits, people are reevaluating their relationships, and it's not like things haven't always been uncertain. Even during our normal lives, things have been uncertain. It's just that uncertainty is like horribly visible now. So I think it's also a great time, it's a great opportunity for us to reevaluate our relationships. It's a great opportunity to reevaluate how we treat those relationships. So I guess just checking on your friends, telling them that you're there for them, even though distance sometimes is a bitch and you can't really prove it to them. But a good conversation always helps. So that would be my third point. One more thing. Yeah, talking about how we have different responsibilities right now. Now, as I said, that I'm currently working with Deloitte, and like my work from home scenario has like been made to believe that it's very very normal, but I know for a fact that it isn't. My job profile is that of a senior analyst, but the label that exists on it right now is that it's a senior analyst working from home. My job profile has like a completely new list of responsibilities which no one is talking about, and so do other people who are working from home right now. So, like, no one talks about the added responsibility of also like juggling housework while you're trying to finish a meeting. That is also a part of my job profile now. A part of my job profile also gives me the freedom to not shower and sit for my work. So, like, there are a lot of additions and deletions into like what actually comprised uh, of like me being an employee in its entirety. But as I said, these are big changes, and these big changes will have some small consequences but have some big consequences on our mental health. So, just what I am planning to do is I am planning to make a comparison between what my earlier responsibilities were and what my now responsibilities are. A lot of us have been missing our commute to work. I think that is a big, big responsibility. A responsibility to reach on time, a responsibility to show up well dressed to work. Now that those responsibilities have been done away with, I think there are new responsibilities which cater a lot to managing the environment you're working in. Because 1.5 months into this entire lockdown, like we have to make, at least I have to make active efforts to like tell my family, okay, you know what, right now I have a call, I really like don't want you to talk right now. Okay, right now I'm writing a mail, so you can like just give me breakfast, I will help you with the cleaning and everything. So yeah, I mean, there are different responsibilities for all of us, and our mental well-being will also be responding differently to these things. My mom has asked me to like start cooking a lot more, also because she thinks I'm in the appropriate age to start learning how to cook. But cooking is something that I find very very therapeutic. Be it like baking, be it just like making rotis or even doing the dishes. I've started finding my time in the kitchen very very therapeutic, because it's something that I just do alone and with my music. So cooking is something that definitely helps me become a calmer person, at least for that period of time. And also craft activities. I actually have a few CDs that I was painting with my sister a few days ago, because we're trying to just like upcycle, recycle a few things at home and trying to make something artistic out of them. I'm now going to just do a little wrap up. So, we talked about a few things, how there is an invisible crisis going on along with the COVID one, and the invisible one is the one with regards to our mental health. The entire world is experiencing this anxiety, and the worst part is we're experiencing it together. So it's sometimes even difficult to compare your situation where you're feeling a certain way and someone comes and tells you, hey, but other people have it worse. So even though I feel that is the most incorrect thing to say to someone who's experiencing anxiety at that time, at this point of time, I feel everyone is helpless, if not equally helpless. And I think it's our responsibility to now flatten two curves. The one, like, which is ongoing for the COVID-19 crisis, and the one with regards to the mental health. Because it is historically proven that pandemics have had the worst effect on people who are vulnerable physically, as in people who have low immunities, and mentally. So this was the first thing that we talked about. The second thing that we talked about was our circadian rhythm being disturbed, which is our body clock adjusting to our new time schedules, where I'm sleeping at 3-4 these days, but earlier I used to sleep by 12. I'm waking up at 10 these days. Earlier I used to wake up by 8. So this disruption in our body clock is also causing a lot of different chemicals and brain triggers in our body, which is causing us to respond differently. So you don't need to be too hard on yourself and try too hard to figure out, hey, why am I snapping so much today? It's okay. Your body is adapting and adjusting to the new normal. Give it some time. The third one talks about the new responsibilities we have with work from home and with also juggling house responsibilities. So I think that's about it. These are a few things that were on my mind, and these are a few thoughts that come to my mind, and I thought I should have a conversation with you regarding them, because talking about things helps me be calm. Keeping them inside just lets the feeling fester, and it's a not good thing. So thank you for talking to me about these things. I'd just like to say that I'm not a calm person, because I'd like to say that I feel too much and I sometimes feel too strongly. So while I talk to you guys about being the catalyst of calm, I'm not saying that I'm the mascot for it. But all I'm saying is that we should have more of these conversations to discuss if there's anything we can do to be calm in that situation, because all of us are struggling in some manner or the other, if not more, if not less, if not equally. The fact remains that all of us are struggling with our mental health right now, and it's okay to admit to it, and it's definitely great and incredible if we are working on it at the same time. So, yep. Thank you so much. I think these were a few notes I had jotted down, and I'm so glad I got to discuss them with you. Thank you so much, Delhi Food Walks, for letting me do this takeover. My Instagram handle is Hustle Rani, so you can follow me there. You can check out some of my work, and I do some live sessions here and there on my account then, so we can connect there. Thank you. See you. Bye bye. Take care.